Ding, ding, ding. Welcome back, everybody. Once again, we're coming inside the infamous ring. Y'all know I'm Trey Amazing, your favorite part-time stripper, part-time pastor, but full-time dating commentator. And this is Ringside's very own Corner Confessions. Today we are, man, I'm telling you, this is a very, very special event. We have a very special guest joining us for the first time. He's a well-known popular television personality. You've seen him on a host of iconic reality TV shows such as The Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. He's the owner of Atlanta's upscale hair salon known as the Purple Door Salon, an Atlanta native creating posh legacy of excellence, fashion, and service. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Dwight Eubanks. Welcome to Ringside.
And here we are.
Indeed, I'm loving it. So, Brother Banks, you know, anybody knows who you are. You have a very, very well-deserved reputation in the city. You're all over reality TV, you know, Bravo, Housewives, and to see your name attached to an event, you know, related to prostate cancer awareness, I had to reach out. I had to, you know, make your acquaintance. You know, just asking off the top, what inspired you to, you know, create an event that's centered around prostate cancer awareness?
Well, I got involved with healthcare 37-something years ago, and it was from the epidemic with HIV and AIDS. And that was my initial involvement with the community when it comes to healthcare. And I got involved because in this industry, we had a whole shitload of people that just passed from HIV and AIDS. And during that time, we was doing Meals on Wheels where we were carrying food to people because they was too sick to go to the grocery store, didn't have any food or any way to get to the hospital. Also, there at Greater Hospital, there was a whole floor where babies was born and had no one to hold them. So that floor was just a floor of rocking chairs, and grandparents and other general population came to just rock the baby because they had no contact with human bodies. So that was my involvement. And fast forward from that, you know, I worked with CDC with HIV and AIDS, and this is 30-something years ago. And at that time, they was having initiation parties, and they still are having initiation parties, whereas people that are negative have unprotected sex with people that are positive to get infected with HIV and AIDS. And I told them then that, you know, they made HIV and AIDS too pretty. These young generations don't know what HIV and AIDS looked like in the 80s. It was looking like skin and bones. People were here today and died tomorrow. So that was my introduction. Fast forward, my grandfather passed from prostate cancer. And coming from a Pentecostal background, he believed, and the Lord told him if he moved to Alaska, he would naturally heal him. So he moved to Alaska, not telling us anything, and of course it progressively got worse. With medication and holistic healing and your spiritual well-being, possibly could have extended his life, but just the spiritual piece without any pharmaceutical or medicine, it just didn't work. So we as black men have a problem and an issue with healthcare, rightfully so. Our government has not done well by us, the black man or the black women, for as healthcare is concerned in America. And that stemmed from the Tuskegee, them infecting black men with STD and killing them. So we still have not gotten over that. And until we address our history and understand our history, we can't understand where we're going.
Indeed.
And this opened up the doors of conversations, of just having a conversation with our black men and our black brothers, fathers and sons and uncles, to just know your health status. Because when you know what you're dealing with, you can deal with it. But the unknown and uncertainty is not addressed. 7 out of 10 black men in America will die in 2024 from prostate cancer. Those are the statistics. Those are the facts. So we have to open up the door and have the conversation. And we did, during that time of CDC, we did a survey of who people relied on and confided in, whether it was their pastor, their doctors, their hairstylist, their accountant. Number one came up each time. It was the hairstylists and the barbers, because we see these people on a regular basis. We become an extension of their family. We know anything they're going through because they confide in us. We see them on a regular basis. So it was so appropriate to have this conversation centered around shop talk, because that's where all the conversations go. Any day you go to the barbershop, they're joking, they're having fun, and those conversations need to be a part of that dialogue and that culture. Right. You know, it's a black culture. For the woman to get her hair done, whether it's braids or extension, it's just a culture thing in our community, unlike any others. So fast forward, I have a dear friend that went through cancer 3-4 years ago in Paris and had horrible complications. The medical care in Europe is totally different from here. Whereas during the pandemic, I went to visit him, and the nurse came to the house versus going to the doctor. They came 3 times a week to check his signs and make sure his medication was okay, versus having to go back and forth to the doctor. So that was a wake-up call. Fast forward, have another dear friend, high school friend that I grew up with, went through prostate cancer and still going through it. And went through that process with him, and I was like, okay, it's so many layers of information that's not consistent. And then with the professionals, at one point they were saying guys need to get tested in their 60s. Then it went to the 50s, and now they're saying 30s. So until they come together as one accord of what that looks like, and I understand things change, environment change, healthcare changes, our foods that we eat and everything that we take into our body has an effect on our health. So therefore, we have to constantly be informed, and society prefer us to be ignorant and stupid and not know our history and not know our healthcare and how to get help. And you'd be surprised at the people that don't have insurance. I had a young man that was 32, had been bleeding in his urine and in his stool for a year before he said anything. And when he finally said something and got to the doctor, he didn't have insurance. And of course, if he didn't have insurance, he couldn't go to the doctor, and each test was $1,500, which means he had to come out of his pocket at $3,000 like that, and didn't have it. But we have organizations and groups of professionals that are passionate. And anything that we do, you have good people in it and you have bad people in it. And we have to identify, and I ask you one question: who is the quarterback of your health? Just think about that. On a football field, you have several different players. You have a wide receiver. Now, I'm not a sports fanatic, so all I know is a wide receiver, quarterback, a tight end. All those things are kind of weird to me, but anyway, who is the quarterback of your health? So that quarterback, which means he's going to make the touchdown, but you have all these other parts, moving parts, to make sure that he get that touchdown. So my question to you, your situation, my situation is totally different. So you have to have a team of doctor professionals working together for your individual needs, and that's what's missing in our community. We just go to one doctor, take his word, and move on with it. My friend in North Carolina had several different consultations. One doctor told him to wait. His PSA was 4, to just wait and watch it. But again, when we hear the word cancer, we just think of death. And it's so much seeds and so many different techniques and things that could work to prolong your health. But in his mind, the doctor in North Carolina told him just get rid of it. Of course, he had great insurance and he saw numbers. So he got the surgery done and just had all kinds of complications, which was not a good situation. So again, you have a doctor over here that just see numbers versus waiting out a year, 6 months and see what it's going to do, whether it's going to press or increase or decrease or stabilize. So that's how I got involved with the whole health initiative. Fast forward. Of course, my background is fashion and beauty, but
you mastered that.
Without your health, you have nothing.
Right.
You know, we just become a vegetable, and life does not have to be that way when you be proactive. and we're putting together a team of health professional, national and international. So wherever you are, we have, it's almost like a blacklist of different people that are compassionate. And I was fortunate enough to, and this had nothing to do with me. This was alignment and interventions and just being in the right place and God giving me the right people to be a part of my life to make this happen. And that was self-care family practitioner, Dr. Akatobi, and Morehouse School of Medicine. And that's how this whole health initiative came about.
You literally just answered my next question, because I was about to ask you, how did the partnership with Morehouse School of Medicine, my alma mater, and the South DeKalb family physician, I was going to ask, how did that deal broker?
Well, last year I did an event for African Children Fund. I was a sponsor for the event, and so many people saw what I had done with that, and just conversation about the event that happened in Stone Mountain. So, just so happened, Dr. Akatobi was treating my next door neighbor, her husband, from cancer, and somebody that was at that event conveyed how fabulous the event was to Dr. Akatobi. And it was a coincidence that he saw my next door neighbor the same week, and that's how I was introduced to Dr. Akatobi. It's not been a year yet. In fact, it would be a year in October, and I just ran the idea about him. Let's do something with healthcare. Let's do a healthcare fair, and he was like, "Great, perfect." His wife happened to be over department over at Morehouse School of Medicine, and so that's how this all came together. They last Saturday, September the 7th, we had a health fair at Woodrow Park. We fed over 500 people in the park. I don't have all the numbers for testing, but we did triple negative testing. We did mammograms for 25 women that were not insured. That was the key. You could not have insurance, and they did mammograms for them. We did blood pressure, diabetes, HIV and AIDS testing. And the list goes on and on. We had over 70 volunteers that came out to support us. It was a great event. And we tied into, and we chose that because it was Grandfather's Day, September the 2nd. So the city proclaimed healthcare September 7th for healthcare awareness and prostate cancer. So that's how this whole thing came about. And just having the dialogue and the conversation with our people, men and women, about our health care.
Right. I had an opportunity to attend, me and my girlfriend, and it was a great event. I got some great footage I'd love to show you. And just seeing, not only, students from my alma mater and just, seeing the other organizations there, it really was very inspiring because, reading the banner there, I was like, okay, they're testing for everything. There's no excuse. They're covering the gamut. So come out, get a health screening, know your status, everything. So for me, it was like, okay, this is a great event. And then, when she was there, she was asking, well, in Dwight Eubanks, isn't he, over, hair salons and fashions and reality TV? She was trying to understand the connection. And I was like, yeah, I want to sit down and interview him because I know there's a connection between what he's done and this awesome initiative, in which, again, my background is public health and now, communications. It really resonated with me. But, one last question before I let you go. As a dating commentator, you often hear that married men tend to live longer than single men. And, people have said that, typically married men have partners that they know their health better than they do, or they know how to ask the right questions, or, what's your thoughts on that? Why do you think, if someone is married, they tend to live longer?
Well, first of all, women start out having a conversation with their healthcare professionals at an early age because of their cycle. When women start their cycle, whether it's 12 or 13, whatever their age is, that's their introduction to health professionals. Us as guys, we don't have a cycle. So we don't have anything to make us have to go to the doctor or ask questions that's going on with your body, other than an erection or a wet dream or anything like that, and that's just pleasure. But so women are more open to have a conversation. I look at my sister and my mother, they talk all day, every day. And they talk about everything. Women, this is what women do. They converse with their girlfriends, their friends, and they know what's going on with each other's body. But guys, we don't have that connection. So women and husband and wives, when they go to the doctor, and the wife or the significant others in the room with the medical professionals, that spouse know more about their health than they do. So you would ask, and go back and look at some of the footage that we've done with Shop Talk, and we've answered these questions about, okay, so they would say, okay, when you go, how many times do you go to the bathroom at night? And the guy would say, oh, 2 or 3 times. And his wife would say, or significant other, say, no, you go 7 or 8 times. So they are aware of what's going on. Okay, what color is your urine? He said it's kind of yellow. No, it's dark brown. You know, which means there's something else going in it. So it's a significant difference from what he see or what he thinks or the significant other see. So yes, it is fact. And again, guys that live singly in a household, we just go through things on our own, you know, and I'm guilty of that. I'll wait until it's just at the last end before I would go to the doctor, because mentally, we just think it's going to get better. And it can get better. We can tough through it. And that was a situation with another friend of mine that was going through surgery. And I knew something was going on, but I didn't know what was going on. He was suppressing the pain, and his blood pressure was out the door, about to have a stroke, because he was trying to suppress the pain versus pushing the button for pain relief. That's just our mentality. It's the way we are built. And slavery did a hell of a thing on our community. And our women, black women, are some of the strongest women in the world. And it's generational. It was brought down. You can't imagine being in a field or plantation, delivering a baby and having to go back and pick cotton. That's a lot. Whereas the same situation with healthcare, and it has to start at the top, because what works for white women and Susan B. Coleman is totally different from what works for a black woman. The law says that you have to go back to work, I think, in 6 or 8 weeks after surgery. Whereas a black woman's body is not designed to go back to work that quick. A white woman can, because her body and healing process is different, but the codes and the regulation, the government insurance regulation, is based on them. And we are not a part of the database of doing trials situations. Now they want to include us into trial surveys and medications, but that's, this is 2024. We should have been involved in trial medicines way before now. So we're making progress, but we're not making progress. Why are we even having a conversation about abortion? How is it that a government can pay for, if you are at the Capitol, a congressman or a senator, they pay for Viagra for a guy for free Viagra, but they don't want to pay for women's abortion. Help me to understand that. So the playing field is still not level. That's why it's so important for us to get out and vote. This year, this term, is like our life depends on it, because otherwise we're going to go back 50 years. And what that looks like. When they start taking away one right, what's next? So we have to stop this at the top, and voting just not at the national level, but the local levels. What goes on in your community where you live affects you and your community and your household. So this is all what I've been doing all my life. We filmed a lot of this, but didn't make good TV. We've talked about this. We've talked about it with Nene and other people of health issues, whether it's domestic abuse. That's another organization which I started with the late Mrs. Lowry, Evelyn Lowry. This was an organization that was created from Katrina. And we had so many people that was misplaced and domestic abuse. And we started this organization called Pampering 4, the number 4, peace. And so it's always been a passion for me. And again, I guess it comes from my spiritual background. Mm-hmm. My grandfather being a minister, my father being a minister, Pentecostal minister, and of course, their idea for me was to be a minister. So I guess I am ministering in a different kind of way, not necessarily in a pulpit, but to reach out and have a conversation with people about what's going on in their life.
No, you're definitely ministering right now in your own way, you put your own seasoning on it, and it's resonating with people. But before we get out of here, what's next? Do you have any other events coming up for the Purple Door Salon or anything else regarding next year's prostate cancer awareness? What's next for Dwight Eubanks?
Well, you know, next week, the 29th of September is FACE, Fulton Fashion, Art, Culture, and Education, Fulton County. It's going to be at the Fulton County Atrium, a fashion show featuring 7 amazing designers. Mm-hmm. That's coming up. And then, of course, we have our Christmas tour drive, which will be the second Sunday in December. We have 3 dance floors. Part of it will be here at the Purple Door Salon. And we've been doing this for 37 years. And we collect amazing toys to support the Boys and Girls Club, the Woodford Foundation, Sister Love, and we had so many toys last year. We gave some to Fulton County and the city of Atlanta because they had a shortage. So this has been going on this is our 37-year anniversary of toys, of the art of giving. And of course, we would start back in January with Shop Talk, dealing with the health initiatives in our community. And of course, a whole lot in between there. And of course, we would come back September 14, 2025 for the health fair and the prostate fashion show, which will be at Centennial Yard, September 14, 2025. This is a 5-year projection. So this year was the inauguration of Shop Talk and the Blue Tie event. So doing what I do all over the world.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Your work speaks for itself, and I think that's an understatement. And again, no one, but me. I appreciate what you've been doing. Again, the event at Woodruff Park was amazing. Reached a lot of people, and I know for a fact that event saved lives. It affected people's, health, and it saved lives along. This has been Corner Confessions. Dwight Eubanks, you have been awesome as usual, as I knew you would be. Thank you again. This is your first appearance on Ringside's Corner Confessions. I hope it's not your last. Hope to work with you in the future. Everybody make sure you subscribe, drop some comments, some likes, make sure you share. Everybody, thank you again, and we are out. Take care.